Greetings and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents the Grimstone Chronicles Season 4 Episode 1. I am your host and also your DM. I have thus stolen Yoink the DM stick from Adam, and he will never get it back. I mean, no, I'm kidding.
So there was a little bit of tit for tat in there, because last time it's like, I'm going to hand you this stick for about 6 to 8 sessions, and then a year went by. So when I got it back, about a year went by.
To be fair, Adam and Mark did an awesome job with Chapter 3. I appreciate the work that you guys put into that. It was super fun being on the other side of the table. It's also good to be back in the DM seat. Gonna have to clean up the mess. I actually did some planning for Chapter 4, 6, and 7. And I think Adam will have the DM stick back for Chapter 5 of this campaign. I've got basically a long conference table full of sticky notes at this point. Let's see if I could share that on screen.
We get to learn what Marty's favorite number is.
I planned up to Chapter 7, which, if I follow this adventure path that was in 4E, it had like 30 games, 30 adventures, 1 per level, and it goes up to 30th level. But at the end, like the last 6 or 7 adventures are, we go into the plains and fight this epic thing. We go and take on this famous city. We go and do this, and like stuff that is on par with what the Legends crew were doing, like big legendary things.
Yeah.
So I think there might be an opportunity to pause between Chapter 6, the end of Chapter 6, which has a very climactic like ending, and Chapter 7, which is dealing with the aftermath of the climactic ending in an epic way. Okay, look at everyone's. Oh, I've got Adam as the DM. Let me take a moment here.
Oh no, my power!
And move that little token near his name. Give me that. And put the with the fiery. There's some fiery thing.
I suddenly feel the need to be irreverent and sarcastic towards the NPCs.
You feel the need to have no respect for any authority in the game.
What is authority?
What is authority, anyways? Well, that's what my character.
The oppression of society dragging me down? No, you listen to me, High Priest. I'm better than you with this.
Adam, it's what my character would do.
It's what my character would do.
Oh, the worst phrase ever. Okay, how are you guys doing? Before we do a recap of like what, because we're returning to the southern group is at war, and their next step is to go into the plains to fight the Iron Lord. But we have a party that was up north that was just finished, finding a huge treasure hoard and stopping the cult of the Chromatic Ascendancy from gathering an offering for Tiamat. But that goes into the recap. We're going back north. So how's it feel to go back to those characters?
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
Pretty good, man.
Yep.
It's been a while.
Yep. Almost was exclaiming he forgot how to run Thogrim.
It's complicated.
These guys are coming off big wins.
Spells and stuff. It's weird.
Spells and stuff? Come on. You got characters with spells. What did you say, Mark?
These guys are coming off a big win.
A big win. That's right.
Yeah.
Now we're in for the off season. It's where we get fat. We play some golf. We let our cardio slip a little bit.
-2 to all ability scores. Yay!
-2 to all ability scores. You get fatigued easily. You maybe put on a couple of weight. We heal up some injuries. We're coming strong in the next season. Get our heads in the game. Clear our mind.
So I had a lot of fun last weekend. Last weekend I had the guys down at the house. I was tired all week and had like a super busy work week. And COVID struck the house and I'm feeling weird. So, yep, I'm all caffeinated up, but I do have a bit of a headache and a bit achy and fatigued. So
I was able to escape before any of that got to me, but I must admit that I had work is work. The meetings on Tuesday, which officially I was like, I'll come join for a meeting or two, were solid from 11 a.m. Like I was jumping in out of the shower to like unmute my phone to be like, all right, you gotta do this thing, right? Okay, I'm getting on the road now, guys. Your dad's like, are you talking to yourself in the shower? It's like, no, I'm talking to other humans. That was like the start of it. And the number of like Red Bulls and cups of coffee needed to get through the work week was more than normal. Usually it's a Red Bull or a cup of coffee if you're feeling, the need for a pick-me-up, not I need a coffee and then the Red Bull.
I nap in the late afternoon every single day since you guys left. Tuesday onwards, nap. So, that's not like I'll nap once or twice in the week, not every day, 4 days straight. My body's fighting off something. I probably have the coof. Although my tests are negative, which is really weird. So my body's either fighting off the thing that it has already fought off before, or has been vaccinated for. Who knows? But there's definitely something that has ripped through the family here, and hopefully we can run a coherent game tonight. Ahmed, how are things with you?
It was good. I'm changing roles at my job, and it's a good thing. And I'm doing both jobs at the same time. So because I'm helping and
that
learning.
Wasn't a promotion.
for now until
unless you're getting paid twice.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, it's all good though. It's all good. It's fun. It's a good change, and it was so much fun last week.
I had to send Ahmed all the recipes for all the food, and
it's like, Marty, how do you make this chicken barbecue? How does the prosciutto? How's this? Come on.
Yeah. How'd you make the marinade? How'd you make the prosciutto mix?
It was good. It was good.
Shared that.
We gotta eat this.
And Mark, you doing all right?
It's good.
Yeah. It's the deal with my wife was I spend the weekend with you guys playing D&D, and she's like, okay, but next weekend's a camp weekend. You'll stay with me at camp. I'm like, yes.
Perfect.
Yes, I will.
I'll be in Colorado next week.
Except for game, right? It's like, what? I'm like, I gotta go play game. I gotta go play game. But once we're done game, I'll go right back to camp. It's like, fine, whatever.
So I'm in Colorado next week.
You disappointment of a husband. I should have expected this.
So if you want to not do a game next week, I wouldn't be offended by that. Then you can spend all the time with the nature and the wilderness. It'll be like a Disney movie.
Yeah,
where, like the squirrels come in and they share your sandwich, and then the bird shits on you.
And I kid you not, there are times I would rather be at work than at camp.
Oh, that's not good either. All right.
Is there a fleshy poo-poo toilet there or no? Is that like the...
All right.
There are fleshy toilets.
Why don't we do a recap of what happened at the end of Chapter 2, which was when the northern group in the Grimstone campaign, who have called or have dubbed themselves officially in the Empire's eyes, or the Imperium's eyes, as the Steelrose Expeditionary League. The last 4 games, we'll go back to Sneak Thief. Brennos' communion with Bahamut deepens and receives strange visions of world-shaking wars long past and premonitions of wars to come. Under the cover of darkness and spell, Widget, Brennos, and Cog and Agony raid the Skyreach castle with the goal of seizing the Lion-Tooth phylactery from the Dragonborn Varos. Sunny provides support while scrying via the Farseer of Rest, that he still thinks is a really good idea to use very often.
It's amazing.
It's awesome. The party makes their plans for the coming moot, where only a few will be in attendance. King Blagothkus of Skyreach Castle meets Brennos on a one-on-one duel. The Ghost Lord curses Barnabus, who has the Lion-Tooth phylactery in his possession. When the moot turns violent, Resmir retreats, and Brennos turns his sword in the direction of the dreaded Ghost Lord, while the rest of the party confronts Glazhael the White Worm. Barnabas beseeches a powerful entity to help him with his current predicament, his soul and body hanging in the balance. That was called Fuzzy Bunny Dragon and the Goat-Headed Peacock Man. The next game was called Red Smear. Brennos, Cog, and Slake get their bearings following the explosive battle with the Ghost Lord. Brennos speaks with Mago, a cloud giant, about the situation in the Cloud Castle. Barnabus is escorted to Hell and receives treatment for his condition. In the Dragon's Lair beneath the castle, Rezmir and his cultists pay a visit, leading to the final showdown between the Worm Speaker and the Steelrose Expeditionary League. And in the final game of Chapter 2, called Ambulance Chasers, Barnabas is whisked away to the Pentad Medical and Wellness Center in the infernal city of New Dis. There, he navigates the horrors of an infernal hospital while trying to make sense of the Faustian pact presented to him by Adra Malik, Chancellor of Hell. The Steelrose Expeditionary League rallies and launches a final assault on the giants of Skyreach Castle in a two-pronged attack. One group against the giants of Clan Stoneskin, and the other against the Cloud Guard of Clan Skyreach and the clan's true leader, their queen. Brennos is smitten by the beauty of a princess, who's only like 12 feet taller than Brennos, but
Yeah, it spells.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sunny makes friends with a trapped and ancient peaceful being. The party visits a volcano to rid themselves of a troublesome spirit. When the dust settles, the Steelrose Expeditionary League stands victorious, having seized the horde of the Dragon Queen, conquered the Valley of the Lost Mines, and captured the mythical Skyreach Castle. Plus which equated to not only a few mythic ranks, a few levels, and I think it came out to close to 1 million gold pieces of wealth that they are now going to spend some time in Overlook and surrounding areas spending and turning into powerful.
What can I say? We're ballers.
So the structure of tonight's game is largely the players have plans to recover the horde, spend some time training to level and selling their goods, and then crafting and buying goods. So it's effectively treating game one is downtime. But as you'll note, if the party is planning something like 4 months, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're planning 6 to 7 months of downtime. Basically, all of the autumn season and all of the winter season.
It got cold.
Stuff will happen that may peel some of these PCs away from their plans as life happens when you're busy making plans. So we have at least meticulously added into our time tracking sheet what they're doing for each 5-week chunk out for the next 7 months, and it's very easy to edit. So we'll be highlighting, and we might skip some time, but as we go through these events, I will change the color of the downtime sheet to stuff that has already happened, and then we will continue to move forward from there. There are a number of individual things or small group things that likely need to happen. It looks like the first plan for the party is to actually recover the horde. Some of this is packing up and transporting the money that they found from Glashale's horde, plus all of the treasure that they've gotten in the mine regions, all the way from the fortress of Karak and across the valley to the mines themselves. There are things that are there that are worth gathering, and it'll likely take the group 10 days to just gather up the horde. I've got a few questions about how you're doing this and where it's going. We're not going to go through every single thing, but I have a number of questions about how are you handling things. So first, what is the goal for the treasure base? Where does all the treasure get moved to?
Well, I have an idea. See, I want to make a base, my own plane, for crafting. I think it would be a good idea to leave it there. You'll have access to it, of course, the casters, the ones that can plane shift. This is Thogrim speaking.
Yep.
It'd be great for my simulacra and I to get the things that you've requested done.
You're what?
He's going to create an alternate reality accessible only to himself and those he chooses, where the
Correct.
treasure will be safe.
Yes.
We're going to say this conversation's happening in the mines or maybe in Glazhale's lair, and all the party has gathered.
Yeah.
I don't have the right token for Amadeus. Where's the real Amadeus?
Can you force us there?
He's got a concentrator, his face flubs back.
It's called Conversation Skyreach. Skyreach is on a different map, and it's not loading properly for me right now, so it's just an empty spot. And let me find Amadeus's proper token.
Nice.
Grimstone Chronicles, characters new. No. There we go. Amadeus.
That other beast can go away.
I never looked like that.
All right, the only one that is not up in the cloud castle as you're deciding what to do with the treasure is Slake. He's been
ugly bastard.
He's been spending a lot. He's been since the end of the battle has returned to the anti-magic hall inside of the Karak Citadel and is starting to clean up the mess of bodies and components from your battles with the constructs of the of Cabernex.
Okay.
Well, Thogrim, the one thing about your plan is that you're going to need to spend 10 days gathering up the horde, some time getting adjusted wherever you're going to go. You need to level so that you get your 7th level spell, and then you don't have, as per the plan to create the demi-plane until the 13th week of autumn. You guys are in the first week of autumn. So I'm going to reiterate my question. Where are you gathering and moving the treasure to? Maybe this is a short-term solution.
Well, either the fort over there, the mine over here, or Overlook. These are the. Where else would it possibly be?
Where in Overlook? We need a massive vault.
We're not putting it in fucking Overlook.
I agree with that. It shouldn't be there.
We're storing the fort for now.
Cursed mine or fort full of dead things?
Well, we're going to have
full of dead things.
We should have a forward base in Overlook, says Agony. You can tell Agony's put some thought into treasure, being the greedy little dragon man that he is. We should keep it with Slake until we organize it, and on the day that things get sold, we could go out of the, what's that inn called? The Half-Axe?
Sure, but we'll
I
have
know
to
the
sell
Half-Axe Inn.
outside of Overlook as well. We've got way too much.
That's what I mean. Store it where it can't be scryed upon. It'll give Slake something to do, I guess.
As long as the big guy doesn't get all stompy. You know, kicky, breaky.
All right. We should sell this quickly then. Agony is saying something that's not going to happen. The estimated time to sell that much treasure on a market with everyone cooperating is approximately 60 days.
Yeah, 2 months.
To sell the near 1 million gold pieces of treasure that you guys have.
Unless you wish to take a considerable loss on many of these items.
No, are you nuts?
I don't think.
For fuck's sakes, let me finish a sentence!
I think you just did, says Agony.
I'm fairly certain that fuck's sakes, let me finish the sentence is a sentence. I agree.
Mr. Koo's in agreement.
What were we talking about again?
2 months. It's going to take 2 months to sell this shit.
Long time.
That's going throughout the Vale.
If only we had some simulacra around.
With our teleport spells, we should be able to make it back and forth. We do need a place for the main horde to be. It'll give us an idea of our progress.
How many cities or markets should we be spreading it around by?
As many as possible.
Right. Just
Well,
don't want
we-
to dump this entire amount in one place.
Overlook, Brindol, they've got magic users there.
It's a small town now. Still, we'll use it.
Denevar, and if we have to, go back to Foundry.
Foundry's not a bad idea. It's quite large.
We could also go to Fortress Top.
Eamon looks at you. I think Eamon was with you when you went to.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't there yet.
No.
No.
Who was there? I'm trying to remember.
Then he's heard about the story. You've told him the stories because
Yeah.
of your cohort, and you didn't. He leans in. Oh, the doppelganger's there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go in teams for sure. Keep an eye on one another. But yeah, it's still a large city. We could sell our shit in.
Doppelgangers. They did have a weird commerce system in Fortress Top. You might be
that's
right. You might be right. There might be we're talking about magic here, and not just like common goods for common people, common sundries and food. But you're like, yeah, there was a lot of weird things going on in Fortress Top.
It's best to stay away from that.
You do get a little bit of a shudder when you remember the doppelgangers attacking you on the train after they took samples from you. You're like, yeah, doppelgangers.
I'll just send someone else. That's all.
Barnabus pushes
Slake.
away the uncomfortable feeling. All right, so what I'm hearing is that you're going to store the horde with Slake, keeping an eye on Slake to not smush everything, and then take out the pieces you need as you go, teleporting back and forth between the mines and Overlook, and then whatever market that you want to, and then your base in Overlook is the half-axe inn.
Yes.
Which, assuming, is still being paid for by Lord Dverak for you guys to use as a base in Overlook.
Yep.
Okay.
If they're not paying for it, then we will have a conversation about how, well...
All right.
Yeah.
So you begin to recover the horde, and I guess the first step is bringing it to the Skyreach Castle. At this point in time, just say you're still in the vicinity of the Skyreach Castle and with the mines. Barnabus receives a sending from Chagga. This is the other half of the thing that had happened on screen. Let me go to correspondences and divinations.
I think I answered it already too.
Yeah. But if we could just So. Autumn 1305, this is the first day that you started gathering treasure. Chagga sends a sending to Barnabas. Steelrose squad battling Iron Lord Azersi found planar artifacts, godly powers, divine medal, need New Year consultation. Acheron to Sagathua, Abyss. How does treasure quest go, Chagga? And then Barnabas' response, if you want to.
Money.
Where is it?
Yeah, I'll just paste it in chat. This was Barnabas' grumpy response, given the victories that they've had.
In the chat. No, not on the chat. Hang on, sorry. Damn you.
It's in the chat.
On the Twitch chat or
Yeah.
Okay, well I just loaded it up, so I'm not going to get it.
Oh, just put it in.
Paste it again.
There you go.
Okay. I was pissy when I.
That beautiful accent that we all miss.
Looking forward to a reunion. Learn some new recipes. Discussions of plans and findings will ensue. Quest ended just like last year. Fuck my life, just like last year. Fuck my life.
You're just using up the extra words.
Yeah.
SML, FML, FML.
This sending happens in the first day of you guys recovering the horde. This is also the last day of the group spending that wayward time in the Iron Tower.
Cool.
They're about to go and try to go after INS Juggernaut and deal with the Shadow Dragon, or meet the Shadow Dragon and fetch the Shadowweave Maul. Like that's where the timelines of intersect at this point. Okay, there are some obvious dangling threads at this point that you may want to handle. There is a group of people that I kind of want to know what you're doing with, and then so the group of people include Dephron, the Rockseeker Brothers. Are you doing anything with the Freeriders?
I don't remember who the free
The
rider.
Freeriders were the other gang.
Yes,
Yeah.
the other.
All right. So I'm
The one
gonna
that
go,
Sonny was chatting with at the bar, where they're like, "Oh, I
They
know
get
about
to
this
keep their
adventure."
pants.
Well,
That's it.
I think that a good exchange for food that I'm guessing they're going to need before we teleport them away would be helping us move shit.
Mm,
all right. So if we go to this little thing, so Sonny had moved already. Oh, and there's the Slake's family. Sonny had moved a number of people to his treehouse,
Right.
to the cabin in the swamp, including Thogrim 6-1, a cannon. Gordon, I think, got chucked off to the side just as
Probably.
just as
Yeah,
a place.
just 'cause- yeah.
Gundren Rockseeker, Ragnum Dowerstone, who is one of the two survivors of the Freeriders, which was the adventuring group hired by Bram Ironfell, who was maybe one of the represented one of the families that had a stake in the mines of the Lost Mine region. He was also the commander of the armed forces in Overlook. Thardan Rockseeker, Nundra was still petrified, and a Thardan Rockseeker I think you put back together after being petrified.
I believe so.
We had to
Yeah.
reassemble them.
You've also got Madrick the Mad, who's got some sort of like chaotic curse that he's keeping at bay by staying in the anti-magic zone of the hall of the citadel, of the fortress.
So, if you don't want Sonny to just be Sonny, you better get on top of it, because
And then one more. You rescued the. Was he dead or petrified or turned to ice? I forget. The paladin by the name of.
he was trapped in ice,
He was trapped in ice, basically.
so he's
Yeah,
a freedom spell,
we rescued him.
or
Yeah.
to be melted
yeah, his
out.
right hand dwarf, right?
Yep. And
Yeah.
his name was.
Something?
He was
Remember-
a paladin.
I remember it started with the. I feel like it started with the. I don't know why. This dungeon, oh fuck my life. There's still a ghost in here somewhere.
Oh, that's
Or a
right.
bunch of them.
Hey, there's a ghost in there still.
Yeah, we should be careful of that shit.
There's an intermittent ghost problem.
Right.
Well, we might have cured it by killing everything, but you never know.
Aren't those ghosts still here? Wait, where's Cog?
I'm trying to find the paladin.
Dephron Silverhammer.
Dephron. Okay.
It's a D.
In Skyridge Castle, his token is still there.
In Dephron? Okay, there he is. Okay, so I'm going to move him to the other, the Valley of the Lost Mines, and like, what are you doing with these people at this point? That's really the question.
I think like with the Rockseeker Brothers, well, if Sonny wants to put the Rockseeker Brothers back together,
Sonny's going to rebuild the Rockseeker Brothers,
Go
and
ahead.
he's going to drop them off back in Overlook.
Overlook.
Okay,
That's fine.
is
with me.
there a particular timing of dropping them back, or are they going to come back ahead of you guys, or after you guys, or with you guys? Let's say that first week is recovering horde locally, and the second one is setting things up, like setting up your cell. The third week is actually going to Overlook. The million gold pieces, it'll take you 10 days just to gather this.
So it'll be that first week of going back. Sonny will fix them before then, but
Okay. So Sonny ends up, you've got the ability to turn people from stone to flesh?
believe so.
Break enchantment or stone to flesh will work?
Okay,
I'd be amazed if you can't.
I'm certain I do. I just want to confirm. Stone to Flesh I cannot cast, but
The 6th level?
Are you a mythic person? Can you?
no, it's I'm not a strong enough wizard.
Oh, right.
Break enchantment then is your path.
I can break enchantment, which is
Okay.
the safer way to do it anyway.
Yep. All right. So you, at this strange swamp, reunite the 3 Rockseeker brothers that are happy to be reunited. You have definitely impressed these Rockseeker brothers, and there's probably a short conversation as you not only reunite them, but you put them all back together after they experienced horrible events.
Yeah.
Let's find a Sunny token. Where is a Sunny?
Wasn't one of them smashed? You had to fabricate him. Or
Yeah, he had to fabricate them back.
We fabricated it back into him.
Yeah.
We're gonna check to see. Oh, your fingers and toes working. Go the best
It's like
the
a
wrong
finger
way.
backwards.
Sonny, given that this takes like 30 seconds to do, did you bring anyone with you just to be social?
I would bring a dwarf with me because they're dwarves. Actually, I'm going to bring Cog because
Okay.
Cog's a medic.
Yep.
Just in case the thing is going on the wrong way. Oh.
That's not right.
And then
I know how to fix that. One moment.
Amadeus, because
Amadeus in case somebody is like grumpy when they come back. Non-lethal Deus. Nice Deus.
Saturdays.
There we go. All the bits, everything works. Fingernails on the right side and all that.
They look proper.
So there's Amadeus, and we need a Cog. There's the heroes. Immediately, Amadeus, Gordon kind of crawls down a chimney that isn't really used very often in this place because it's super warm inside. He sort of flings out into the open. There's the thing! Maybe the Rockseeker brothers don't quite know, but Gordon eventually, almost launches itself at Amadeus, happy to see him again, wrapping around your neck in a loving, tentacly hug.
All right, he peels it off. Okay.
Yep.
Isn't that a nice Gordon?
It scuttles quickly into a pouch on your backpack and sort of wraps around you. You could feel his little tentacles dig in.
Sorry, quick thing. There's a character called Rubble, or not Rubble. Rubble. He was the druid dwarf. I just found him on the side here. I don't know if we mentioned him at all.
He was a.
He was
druid.
Where he's a druid that is sometimes here, sometimes with like that local.
Where is he?
He's under Valley of the Lost Mines, underneath Thogrim and the guys.
Valley of the Lost Mines.
Entrance of the castle.
Earth Elemental, Rubble. No, he's not there anymore.
He's off doing whatever he does.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's not in the cabin in the swamp, which I can force you guys to.
Okay.
There we go.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't.
This was the druidic cabin you guys found on your way through the swamp.
Yeah.
That Sunny is kind of taken as a unofficial residence.
With the universal plant in it.
Yeah.
It's got the universal plant, yeah.
Yeah. No one's fighting him for the swampland.
He opens the window, so it's beautiful. Like,
If he's
Thogrim 6'1" was about to ask a question, but then he kind of put his hand down as he's not quite as vital as Thogrim once was. He was going to ask a question, but the dwarves are all there. Ragnum Dowerstone looks like he wants to ask something, but he too is he's grinding his teeth instead and just waiting. The Rockseekers are kind of much more excited. They go over and shake Sunny.
Thogrim 6'1" isn't sitting there with damage, is he?
Yep.
yeah.
Do healing spells work on them?
Nope.
No. He has to
Big
be.
hole.
No, it costs a lot of money to fix those guys.
Does big hole work?
or repair construct.
Yeah. Well, first, Sonny, while you're like, oh, maybe magic will solve that, you're getting your hand big.
Oh, you're like, so he's like not really looking at them. He's
by the Rockseekers, The only one that has a permanent-looking injury is that part of the nose of Nundro is missing because it was he was petrified and it got knocked off. You're pretty sure a regenerate spell will return that. They seem to be survivalists. Like they've already created this like little leather nose bandage for him. Looks funny, but it's better than staring at open nasal cavities.
Then what if he gets cold? Oh my god.
You've done us proud, and we found the mines, and we've captured the valley. We were talking amongst ourselves. This is Gundren. We are in your debt, first off, and they all do kind of a little bow. But they're super excited about. But we can't wait to get back to Lord Dverak and let him know because he's got the money to like reopen the mines. Yes, but there is still a problem.
Problem.
In order for us dwarves to get back and forth, we're gonna have to reopen the way.
The what?
Was this the valley that we went around because we are, druids and such?
No, not the long way around. That way we had to move back. There was once a way from Delve that you could walk just through the mountains to the valley, but that way was shut. Rocks that move, rocks that talk.
Ooh.
It was shut long ago during the fight against the Red Hand of Doom, or maybe even before. That pass is known for avalanches and rock slides and earthquakes.
Can you talk to the mountains?
Well, we were thinking, because you're a druid, maybe let us go and find more about this valley so you know what you're walking into, but surely those that took over the valley will be stymied by, talking, walking, earthquaking, rock things.
Of course not.
Excellent. Dverak's got some good records. He's got access to lots of things. So when we go back to Overlook, we'll get some rest and we'll drop some plans and we'll find out some more information about the pass.
All right.
We're at your service. Don't worry. All the good stuff will go to you guys first.
Perfect. I'm certain that will make Barnabus and the rest happy. It's good to know that those with inquisitive minds and the ability to dig up the secrets of the old are still around. It's good to find where the magics are.
You look different, says Ragnum to Amadeus.
Yeah. What of it? That's what I thought.
That place changed a lot of us. It defeated a lot of us. My companions. Well, I know the giant is dead. He and Genna were converted into those machines. Madrick, are you going to be able to lift his curse? He was handy in a pinch. You could tell Ragnum is concerned about his fellow adventuring party.
We'll fix his curse. It's an interesting curse.
And what about Megan and Silent? They were lost in the way down. You came across.
They were smashed to pieces on the stairs, weren't they?
They were petrified statues that I think are a little bit
beyond repair.
Well, at least beyond magical repair. Yeah, a really good statue maker might be able to puzzle them back together.
My condolences. Your friends were petrified and then smashed.
Do you know someone who's good with statues? They're not dead. They're trapped in stone.
I do, says Darden. And he clasps your shoulder.
If anyone could do it, you could. After a few cricks on my back, I feel great.
Oh, excellent.
In that case, I can bring you to them. You can pick up the pieces, and maybe there's a chance you can bring them back.
Or at least bring their stony bones back for burial.
I can help you with this if you need.
Okay, he nods. He appreciates it. He seems to be much less happy than the three dwarves who found their mine. And then Thogrim just seems to be staring down at the table, cleaning his glasses absent-mindedly.
What kind of spell is going to fix this guy who's just sitting there with like a broken hand or whatever?
What is your spellcraft check? Like just your bonus is fine.
Sonny's base spellcraft, 33, 35 to identify spells.
What's the highest level spell you can cast in Arcane?
Sixth.
Okay. So, and you've been told what this spell is. Yeah, you can automatically make the DC. A complex process requiring 24 hours, 100 gold pieces per hit point, and a fully equipped magical laboratory can repair the damage to a simulacra. He appears with your. You also have heal.
Yeah.
What's your bonus on heal?
Plus 14. Well, plus 10 to that is ability score.
All right, yeah. Give me a heal check, I guess.
Yep.
DC 20.
He's the I throw spells at it kind of healer.
I'm not judging.
25.
All right, you know that normal positive energy won't work on him because this thing is technically a shadow illusion, like a really, really realistic shadow illusion behind which there is like magical ice.
It's not a construct, so it's not like you can just throw.
Yeah, it's magical ice and blood. It's an illusory duplicate. So yeah, you have to go through this process. You think that with a magical laboratory you can do it, and it's materials that are easily on hand for a wizard like you. You're sure that Thogrim knows how.
Yeah.
And he's got 8 damage, is basically it.
Yeah.
Thogrim 6-1 has how many max hit points, Ahmed?
88.
Okay, so he's down 1/10 of his health. He's
been beat up.
Yeah. It also was the thing that he was likely going to ask about, but there's just something about them that makes them really less than their previous selves.
All right.
And you're pretty sure standing side by side, even the old Thogrim and this thing, you'd be able to tell them apart. Thogrim's disguise check is really poor, so they're a little bit lumpy, or they're a little bit off, or too skinny or too fat. Like they're just almost like his mental projection of how he was feeling that day when he cast the spell came through.
They're all a little bit more jacked, right? They're all...
there's just something vital, like a vital spark that is missing. Otherwise, they're functioning and they seem real.
Okay. Sonny.
We also got some things. Yeah, we ran out of them, but when we talk to you again, we'll give you some avalanche tokens.
Ooh.
Things that'll keep you like floating to the top when big cave-ins happen.
That will probably be useful for when we talk to the mountain, which closes. And
that's why I mentioned it here.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. That's not like in the idea of
useful.
Sonny's like, it's a great idea. Of course we should talk to the mountain. There's a mountain that's closed.
All right. So I have number 1 quest for tonight. Like these are tonight. If we end with like 4 or 5 quest threads that you guys decide which one you want to go on, and maybe not all the PCs have to go on because of the size of the group. It's reopening the pass, going to the Delvin Pass to deal with the talking avalanche creatures or whatever the heck's there. So I've got 1 quest that is now
Magic is spent. The people are like the dwarves get relocated back to
Overlook.
Regnum will be brought back to the mines to go pick up companion pieces.
Yep. All right. So I'm just going to bring them briefly back to the Valley of Lost Mines. And then if we could find their companion pieces, so we've got a dead Brot and a dead Genna, the spellcaster in their group, which he'll bring back their mutilated half-machine bodies. And then in the Cavern of the Undergod, the petrified pieces, which aren't going to be as difficult as one of the Rockseeker Brothers to put back together. Those are brought back to the Valley of Lost Mines as well. And how did Sunny do this before?
I think we had Thogrim align it, and then I hit it with a fabricate.
Okay.
Yeah, I used my crafting.
All right. If you during this gathering treasure time, you can definitely spend an hour on each of the statues and see if you can put them back together. We're gonna say I'm gonna roll. The DC of their leader is 35 to put back together, Megan Swiftblade, and the DC of their archer is 34.
Okay. Need any help? I think Thogrim makes those sorts of things in his.
What's your craft sculpture, Thogrim?
Thogrim's craft sculpture.
It's
Craft.
base 29.
Sculpture is 29. Yeah.
So
Plus 2 from.
Thogrim 6-1 is
Talk.
reunited with his master, and then Talk, your familiar, can also aid you.
Yeah, 31, 33.
Thogrim 6-1 bows to you when he sees you, and then helps you put statue bits back together.
It was quite a difficult time we had there. 6-1.
All right.
Glad you pulled through.
Yes, master.
He looks at him like, we'll get to these as soon as we can.
Difficult.
He looks at his wounds like, we'll get to these as soon as we can. All right?
Thogrim 6-1 nods obediently.
Thogrim likes 6-1 because although Thogrim has changed, right? Because he died and he came back as as Fire Dwarf, was it? Azure,
Yep.
right. And the 6-1 is what Thogrim used to look like. So he's got a special place for it with Thogrim.
Okay.
100% certain where Brennos is on this map, but when we're bringing back random ass adventurers, Brennos is there just in case things go sideways to unsideways them or make them go further sideways.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if he's stuck behind any of these.
He's in the
the unseen siege crew of gazillion guys. He might have been out fighting.
He might have been out. That's fine.
Let me grab him from the conversation. I think Barnabus is missing too, Brennos. Very soon, everyone's going to be moved back to Overlook. Okay, so sure, the party is there.
Yeah. With a mythic point in the bank, I think it's auto.
Yep, this is no longer the treehouse. This is just basically you guys dealing with things. All right.
Break enchantments are used till it works.
Yeah, break enchantments also don't have the saving throw that's required. So you end up rescuing. You made the checks, Ahmed?
He needs to roll a d20, not roll 1.
Not roll 1.
And then roll a mythic point if you roll 1.
Stop saying it. Stop saying that.
Okay, so he automatically does it. All right.
He automatically gets it. That's what I'm saying.
They're good.
All right, you've rescued now 3 members of the Freerunners. And then Madrick the Mad, his curse came from...
All right, so first the wisdom drain. Let's make him not nuts.
Yeah.
So first we get Amadeus to ask him to go to sleep politely. Then we drag him out.
All right. He like he almost doesn't fight it. He slumps. He's like, "You're gonna fix me, right?" Slake is just watching and gives a nod that, you know, this is the right thing.
Don't worry, we'll get rid of the evil magic that's on him. And then Sonny turns to whoever's with them. Evil magic really isn't a thing, you know. It's just, you know.
All right, the supernatural curse is called corporeal instability.
Okay.
And it wisdom drains over time.
Oh,
Oh,
So,
I can see why, mind you. But
Yep. If his wisdom drain continued to 0, he permanently becomes basically one of those
monster things.
amorphous shaped thing. Yep.
So, what any horror movies have taught me anything, you don't want to be an amorphous shaped thing. You want to be morphous, not amorphous.
Yeah, basically he eventually turning into a chaos beast and then repeating the cycle.
Nope, we're good. We'll fix this.
It looks like a heal spell will just get rid of this.
Okay.
Maybe a heal and a break enchantment, but
we'll hit him with a mythic heal spell for good measure.
Okay.
And then a break enchantment.
Magic the Mad has been cured by Sunny by magic. Slake doesn't like that part, but you do that part outside of at least visual range. You can still hear what's going on, and he ends up breaking some stuff while you're doing it. We're gonna say that the Freeriders owe you one.
Mm-hmm.
They were sent here, they raced here, they got here just a little bit ahead of you, and they were not equipped to handle the dangers that were in this valley. No, not at all.
No.
All right. In the after gathering the last thing, Brennos and I guess Sunny and then maybe Barnabus. You've talked with them a little bit. What are you telling the cloud giants of the Skyreach Castle to do while you're going to be flitting about Elsier Vale? Right now, the castle is still anchored to the edge of the Valley of the Lost Mines. I guess they're not lost anymore. You might have to call this place by a different name, but
Echo Wave Mines again. That's all.
yeah, the Echo Wave Mines, and then the Fortress of, I think it's called Correct, or am I thinking of a different place?
We know how to get to. Now, hear me out, Barnabas.
Yeah, the Fortress.
I think that they should send that castle north to help scout out the area to where the bastards who fucked with Slake are.
I don't care what we do with the castle.
Perfect. Who was the third person? It was Brennos, Barnabas, and who was the third? Was it?
Sunny is the one who has talked to the enigmatic being that is behind moving the castle. Cog seems to have been following Sunny around.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So, Cog, actually, perfect.
what is it, Sonny?
Hello? Sonny was like looking in the other direction, admiring a sunset. Like he's just, sorry. Over here. Slake has a torturer in the north, somewhere, some wizardy guy up there.
Right.
That castle, since we can have a patrol anywhere really, we can have them go and sort of look around for some sort of imperial torture chamber up there. You know, get them off being, so that we could fix Slake and then kill his murderers, and then bring him back with magics.
Wait, you want to use the castle to scout? Is that?
No, I will get them to do it on their own. Or do you have a more immediate purpose for it?
We need to be away from this castle. We do not want to be drawing attention to ourselves.
But we can ride around a big fuck-off castle. What do you mean don't want to bring attention to ourselves?
For starters, we are blood thieves. This is something that will not be looked kindly upon by the Imperium. And the Imperium will notice a flying castle.
Speak for yourself on this blood thievery. I am the justice arm of the dwarvish gods.
You are the whore of the justice gods, and they pimp you out to whatever pantheon they need a favor from.
I may be a whore, but I'm the best whore.
Well, you do seem to be the
Because that
preferred one.
description wasn't really wrong.
It's quite accurate indeed, yes.
No, don't overstep, tin can. No.
There was a slight throb of disagreement from the platinum
The platinum blade is like, no. This is an incorrect characterization of the situation.
It's just
Wait, was Barnabas there when he watched?
You can add one chaos point to your thing for claiming yourself as whores to pantheons.
It does sound wrong.
As some of the gods may agree, while others.
Some of them just don't like being called Johns. That's all.
So here's the thing. Chaos has just taken the lead on the Pantheon chart.
Brennos' words and actions matter because there are many judges.
Oh, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching. It's one of those things where some of the gods go yay, some of the gods go nay. So we'll send the castle up north to see if they can find this imperial outpost. Hey, you don't care. Not talking to ye. Talking to Cog.
It's fine.
Right then. Okay, Brennos will basically ask the giants to basically take the castle northerly and sort of look for an imperial outpost somewhere where we kind of think it is.
Yeah, let me grab some of the people from Skyreach and bring them over.
Yeah.
All right, when you go up to Skyreach Castle, sorry, it's a giant map and none of the tokens are.
I'm just making a note. Declared himself.
Yeah, Skyreach Castle's
for pantheons. Well,
I'll just bring them over to the valley.
okay.
All right, so Brennos, you approach, or this group approaches. You do see Zanaya and Mago are basically overseeing a cleanup of the Sky Castle. They have built a big cairn, like a pile of bodies in a pit that they're now filling in with rocks at the where the castle was anchored, and a lot of the stone giant bodies are being moved into there. They're likely doing something different with the cloud giant bodies because I think there were some losses during this. Mm-hmm. Barnabas, you've got a good sense motive, right?
Yep.
And I think Brennos and Cog do as well.
Check.
How are the sense motives?
All right, let's roll some sense motives.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, haven't leveled yet.
44.
That's pretty good, sir.
He's an inquisitor, don't you know?
Cog
He
will hit
inquisits.
Cog will hit you with a plus 22. Give me a sec.
48.
29.
Okay, Cog, you notice that a lot of the giants do stop to look at you. There might still not be a lot of trust between the cloud giants and your group. With the 44, Brennos, you're convinced, though, that they are treating Zanaya Ord as a ruler. Like they seem to be following her command, and you don't have much doubt there. You also pick up that the giants don't like you guys very much. And then Barnabas with his 48 during downtime kind of things, you're kind of cracking 50. Yeah, Barnabas knows that your only two friends in the Cloud Castle are Zanaya and Mago, and you know that Zanaya has friendly, strong feelings towards Brennos, but
All right.
doesn't know what to do about it, probably because he's a dwarf and she's a giant.
Magic.
Barnabas chuckles at her dilemma, offering no solutions.
Okay. Sunny and Mistra are bumbling and just kind of following him behind. Warlord Brennos, what brings you to the Skyreach? I hope that you have recovered the treasure that you needed.
Aye, the recovery is going well. Is your title Queen or Princess?
Princess, you don't know. She hasn't undergone any sort of coronation, although
Used to good Princess.
Yep. My warriors did find 2 of your pets.
You little rascals! Sonny's going to like literally walk under his skirt. Right?
Yeah. They're in a cage. If they tried really hard, they could probably escape the cage. Maybe that's as small as a cage the giants had. But you do see that there is an Arctic lemur and a bunny that are
For the zoo,
that
right?
are in the cage.
Yep.
Now, if you recall, Sirik, one of the sorcerers that attacked you in Glazhael's lair in the bowels of the Skyreach Castle, was turned into a lemur, and then Glazhael himself, the Glazhael cloud chaser, the dragon who knew what he was doing, was turned into a bunny.
In Sonny's list, I had Sirik down, but I didn't have what he was turned into. And I didn't even get to Glazhael because apparently we got too excited.
So
You little rascals!
You do realize that the bunny is not a bunny. One of my giants stepped on him and he survived.
So he's giving the druid likes to collect casters.
She smiles like she appreciates the joke. Mago looks like is now looking at Sunny as he was a caster.
Yep. Sunny will give him like a little hello. So we there's 2 things. Firstly, we would appreciate it if you could bring the Sky Castle to the north. One of our number was tortured by Imperial wizards up there. We are looking to make things right. If you could see if you could find this place, some sort of horrible laboratory in the Arctic. It would be greatly appreciated.
The north is a big place.
Some place called Fort Dunquist. There's some lord there, Archibald the Rains.
There's one.
Imperium Fort.
We don't want you to attack, just find.
He would be an archmage, so yeah, stay away.
Is there any description of this fort?
Barnabas, help me out here.
Does he know about Fort Dunquist?
Give me a knowledge. You don't have the right knowledge locals. I
can try anyway, though.
Yeah, but knowledge arcana might be the
best one.
You're probably going to smoke that. So
yeah, okay. So I'll take 10, and I'll get a 65.
So the rumors that you guys have picked up is that this Archibald Rience this Lord Archibald Rience is working with the Imperial military and doing experiments involving golem craft. If he's doing this at any scale, there will be, how shall we put it, forges and fumes and plumes from which that should be visible.
Yeah.
Look for rising smoke. They'll need forges to be going if they're working with golden craft, so they'll need to be smelting materials. Yeah.
This fort,
It should be easy to find.
even if you didn't know Cog and Slake, would be associated with golem craft. Like you'd know the tidbit of like Imperial golem crafters work.
Yeah.
And you know that the fort is intended to be like a secret location. It's more of like a research fort, as a research lab, as opposed to a true military fort.
Okay. It might look more like just an outpost or a small castle, that sort of thing. It's not a true fort. It's supposed to be a secret.
I again just trying to find it, or at least help us figure out where to get it. We're going to need to.
The giants of Clan Skyreach will enjoy returning to the cold, wintry winds of the north and putting some distance between us and the Valley of the Lost Mines. Keep in mind, the Cult of the Chromatic Ascendancy knows about this valley and sent us here. They did intend to offer anything and everything they found in the valley to their multi-headed draconic goddess Tiamat.
Point of fact, one of them did. Several heads of that particular cult.
We're after the other heads, and if the god wishes to try to return here, we'll cut more heads off. Like this is.
We would be willing to help God. How should we stay in contact?
So, this is a good question. What is this? There's a spell where there's a little token of teleporting. What is that spell?
Word of Recall.
Word of Recall is it Word of Recall is the one where it makes the token, or is it just that where you cast and you go back home?
You can
I think there's
You
enough.
can
Put a
where you
word of
create a token
recall
with it, right?
into the castle.
We've done it with ships before, so
Teleports you to so range unlimited, standard action, instantaneous. You instant teleport back to Sanctuary. You must. You may also bring a large creature. Yeah. Is this correct? If that's the right thing, then it's like sending would also be a way. Like sending is a normal way to talk.
Yep.
Okay. I'm having the brain thing. Which is the one with the token? Is it word recall? Because I don't see it in the description of the spell. I thought there was another one for that.
I just realized I got to roll hit points for Gordon for a couple levels.
Maybe it's not Word of Recall. There is a token one.
Yeah.
Maybe it was older versions of Word of Recall.
Give me a sec. I'll find it for you. Let me have that.
I thought it was word of recall itself. And I was on that spell going, where is it?
Let me. Okay.
So, word of recall.
Maybe cleric.
I think he wants to know if it's an Inquisitor spell.
Well, that or like a druid spell or a cleric spell. Because I'll go, Sonny!
It was
Give me
either
your
cleric. It was either cleric or druid.
It's
Because
a cleric spell, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm just trying to figure out what circle
Which
it is. now.
one? Yeah.
I think it's like 6. That's not.
I think Word of Recall used to create a token, and then maybe we didn't reread the spell.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
Shrine Walk is the way that
It's
Rogues
the
get that,
rogues
right?
do it.
So, yeah, it's 6th level, druid 8.
Okay, so like that's
But-
one that just Sonny can just cast that.
Yeah.
Brennos can't because he doesn't have 6th. And then he
It's a cleric spell. I don't know.
it would be looking for the god who would grant it through domain.
Oh, right.
Through hacks, I believe it's called.
Not a word at all.
Okay, not at all.
Okay, she ends up taking out a knife. She cuts off a small braid of her hair, which is pretty big for you, and gives it to Brennos.
So Brennos is going to cast a mythic righteous might.
Okay,
Nice.
To be big.
is he huge or large?
Mythic. He turns huge.
Okay,
He'll use the knife to cut off some of his own hair. But my hair is probably going to shrink down after I cut it. That's fine. We're going to cut off like a whole fucking braid.
Okay, there's a lingering of hands as the hair is exchanged. Mago looks away. Some of the giants also like stare off, pretending that they're not noticing. One of them fusses with the two-headed griffin that was Blagothkus's pet. Like it's not behaving well, and they
It gets back in.
yeah, exactly.
Brennos will lean in a little closer. If any of them give you trouble or you need help, call me. We'll set things right.
We'll keep in contact. We'll let you know if we find this Imperial fortress. And of course, if the cult of the Chromatic Ascendancy is foolish enough to return, surely they will get news of your victory if they haven't already. This is like 10 days after a big-ass fight.
They will...
At some point, the treasure that they intended to deliver, while I do not know where, will be late.
The path of that cult and my path are intertwined. One of us will survive, one of us will not.
May your gods guide you, Brennos.
To the gods! Okay.
Barnabus doesn't even conceal a roll of his eyes.
Nice.
God, your eyes just go whoop.
Sonny, Umala has been asking about you. Would you like to talk to her before you return?
I would love to talk to Ramala. She is a most interesting being.
Umala, is the
Elemental thing.
air elemental infused leviathan that lives trapped within the cloud castle that gives it its power, and the being that you have to befriend in order to truly move around in the castle.
Now, Mistra, please look after your friends. They're going to get lost and stepped on. Again.
Mistress herding the lemur and the bunny back to the giant group of people that you're bringing back to Overlook. I think now we have everyone that we need that you're bringing back to Overlook. You've got your companions back. You've got your polymorph creatures, a bunch of dwarves, the adventurers, Dephron Silverhammer. Think. Yep.
It's just 2 teleports.
Yeah, with you and your group and that sort of thing to get back there. Okay. All right. There is a farewell, and the Sky Castle. As you guys fly back down or teleport back down, you can see the anchor being lifted up, and then the Sky Castle floating away. This is shortly after Sunny.
Yep.
Sunny goes and.
Sonny has a chat with the powerful being inside the thing.
Yeah, Sonny, you know that it's good to stay friends with this thing.
Yeah.
because it is incredibly powerful, and that some mythic magic was used to bottle this otherwise this majestic creature that should be mostly peaceful, but that could become quite wrathful and destructive.
Are you telling me that there's a chance we can drink the castle?
No, there is no possible chance for you to drink the castle.
Barnabas, with your knowledge checks, yes, there's a chance you could drink the castle.
Noted.
No. No. Nope.
Please stop.
Sunny is a little bit torn. The castle is really neat. This thing before great wizards and perhaps even priests showed up and trapped it should be playing in the winds and above the oceans and mountains of Volcanica. It is elemental infused, so it might be partially of a different world, but
Sonny is wondering, because it's like big and cumbersome as the whole giant castle. Would there be a way to, like, right now this thing is like a motor home. Is there a way to get this down to like Corvette size so we can actually go play?
Well, it's not only a giant castle, it is a giant castle built for giants of huge size, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because the creature itself is so big, you may even need more powerful magic to provide some sort of, not only a cage for it, but like an extra dimensional space that then fuels it starts to get very complex to make miniaturized, if you will.
Yeah.
It's a magical thought, maybe.
Yep.
But what would you use this great mythical being to empower?
It doesn't matter to Sunny because it would just exist.
Well, the existence of it is awesome enough. Like, if somebody showed up going, I'm going to kill the beast. Oh, you've chosen death, have you? Like, that's
Okay.
Yeah, it's just this cool thought about that.
All right, so one of these sticky notes out of this massive sticky note table was the Slake and Desaad quest. Slake and Desaad quest in the north. Basically, you've got the giants looking for the fort.
I didn't even know that was on the table. Cool. Yep. I was just like, got giants do a thing. Well, so like the logic there is they can go and replenish their numbers with because they should, Yeah.
I did remember this one because I'm like, what else am I missing? But I also have the magic of blank things to add sticky notes. So, yeah. All right. So you guys have recovered the horde. You're now getting ready to teleport back to Overlook and start basically your training to level and getting settled in Overlook. So we're on week 3 of downtime, and I'm going to teleport, i.e. cut and paste, this giant group of people back to Overlook, which is on the other map. So let me just make sure I've got the party. Do I have all the members of the party? Possibly with dupes?
You might want Mistra. I don't know.
Where is she? There we go. And then we've got some bodies, and then a bunch of dwarves and adventurers. I think that looks like everyone. All right, so I'm going to cut and paste. Save. Open. So you guys basically decided not now for occupying the flying castle, which I think is an interesting decision. I like Barnabas's reasoning. It's where our enemies are going to look. It's where they're going to look first.
That's so fair. That's so fair.
What? It's like, what car did they
This
leave
is
in?
the thing
Oh.
where there's going to, like, Brennos is going to receive a come now. Oh, no.
All right, so I've
No.
teleported your party to outside the Half-Axe Inn. Upon returning, you do see that the inn is not in business. The staff seems to be quite low because you haven't been here in a while. But you do see a familiar halfling playing chess with a young lad who's dressed in more noble-fitting clothing than the rags that you had found him before, Thuron. There are a few staff members that probably are starting to summon other staff members, but it looks like the Half-Axe Inn is still the de facto being paid for by Lord Dverak, and is still ready and able to act as your base here in Overlook.
Okay.
As out of nowhere, after 20 days of not hearing from them, adventurers and dwarves and all sorts of people are coming into the inn. Feel free to move yourselves around to where you're going to basically typically inhabit. I think Slake kind of marches off into that little area that's... I think Slake stays behind. Yeah, Slake is staying behind to guard the treasure that you guys left in the...
Is there anyone we're leaving on treasure duty with Slake?
Good question.
Because Slake, if there's a problem, Slake can't do anything about it.
Amadeus will stay with him.
Okay.
Amadeus has some serious contemplation and thoughts to go through.
Okay, I'll move Gordon and them. I'm just going to put them off to the side.
Yep.
And I'll grab a Slake and put him off to the side too.
What'll also be funny is when the ghosts come back, Slake can't actually hit them. Unless he can do magic DR with his fists.
Oh, he
I
does.
think he does.
Okay.
With his proper Forsaker returning to him, which I think he also has to.
Like
Atone or
atone.
something?
Yeah,
Or-
tone. Yeah.
Yeah. He used to wait. Hey, so Thuron. Thuron, is this the human kid that
That
Brennos?
Brennos befriended. Yep.
Yep. Cool. Just perfect. I just want to make certain I remembered the thing.
Okay, so we'll make a little circle here because I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth, or a little square. We'll basically call this the mines. The Fortress of Karak, basically, is where Amadeus, Gordon, and Slake are. All right, the dwarves, the place is really busy. Dwaki and Thuron are happy to see all of you. Servants do come out to give you drinks. A lot of the dwarves and adventurers immediately go to the bar.
Yep. That is what ye adventurer do.
Yep.
Barnabas grabs a drink and heads to the kitchen. At least we haven't had a decent meal in 6 fucking months.
It's probably not been 6 months, but it feels like it's been 6 months. Some more than others. All right, so this is you basically spending the next 5 days getting settled in and sort of planning out your little trade routes and where we're going to sell which items and stuff that we don't need to go through, but your characters are busy doing. The dwarves do on that first night stay here, but it does look like they're anxious, including the adventurers, after a really big meal and over drinking. It's likely that the dwarves and the Freeriders are going to leave the inn after that first.
But what about Dephron Silverhammer?
Dephron does politely
drink to victory and not to being an icicle.
He does politely drink from victory, although you do notice he does
No
not
ice.
over imbibe. And if you're keeping a close one that leaves.
Yeah, Cog's not sleeping. He's actually doing guard duty.
So
Before he leaves, Barnabas
Oh,
personally
it's an
serves him his meal. Oh, I will write my craft culinary. And you know what? Just because I can, I'm gonna spend a mythic.
Yeah,
Add
it's
20 to that
downtime.
one.
Use your mythics like.
I'm just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I would like to create a new.
Enjoy your DC 66 meals, gentlemen.
Oh, it's epic. This now becomes. You want more victories. Why? Because Barnabus will then cook.
As he serves Dephron his meal, though, he leans in and says, "A bit of advice. You see, your lord and master.
Yes.
Look him in the eyes when you ask him, what order did he want you to be saved in?"
What exactly do you mean, Barnabas?
Well, at one point you were captured, and we had the option.
Widget. So the Rockseekers are not paying attention to this. They're getting right drunk, and they're talking to Agony about all the different types of things that they could pull out of mines that they think might be in that mine. And they're also talking about there being a bit of chaos that might actually interact with veins, and that different materials could come out of this stable mine.
It should be diamonds.
It might shit a diamond one day, basically. They're not paying attention. Widget, however, is smoking a cigar and just listening to Barnabas's conversation with
the reason why Widget was put right beside.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you see, there came a point after you was captured and your master was mind controlled. Decision needed to be made. Was to go after the castle or free the mines. I noticed the mines were freed when you got loose, didn't you?
Are you trying to say that my master valued the mines over my life? He doesn't look impressed with your logic, but he's giving you the benefit of the doubt and asking for clarification.
Well, if you can't work that out for yourself, I don't think there's much hope for you. Enjoy the
meal.
And he's going to enjoy it despite himself.
He is impressed by the food. He eats a little bit more than he planned, but he remains quiet for most of the rest of the night. Barnabas's barb does have him chewing on it. Widget, you can tell that Dephron's not surprised by Barnabas's observation. He's more maybe annoyed that other people are also noticing.
I've heard paladins are useful in a pinch. You're looking for other work.
If you think that I'm a mercenary, then you've thought wrong. The Silverhammers are loyal.
Not getting the righteous, judgmental blood on your blade is, the usual for a paladin. Go slay a demon lord or something like that. Bodyguards are useful too.
We are loyal. We're also wise enough to know that sometimes a just and wise word in council can have much more benefit than a simple sword or axe on the battlefield.
Not wrong about that. He's going to offer him something to smoke. You smoke a thing.
He tastes your cigar. He doesn't do the whole thing. At one point, one of the Rockseekers sees that he's not smoking it fast enough, and they end up finishing it for him. 'Cause, All right, so basically the plan is to settle in at some point. You know that you either need to go and talk to Lord Dverak because they're going to find out that you're back, or he's going to come to you, or you're going to come to him. And it'll be a day or two if he's in town before that happens. Basically, once Dephron leaves...
Barnabus is just assuming either the Rockseekers or Dephron, definitely Dephron, is going to say they're done. They've done it. They're going to tell it.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm like, when are you...
Do you want to control the circumstances of that conversation, or are you letting him control the circumstances of the conversation?
No, we're going to let him come to us.
Okay. All right. So the next morning, Dephron, for those that were watching, Eamon does report back that Dephron packed up his things really early in the morning, and after a short prayer, he left into the city.
All right.
He actually scrawled out a thank you note.
Does anybody mind if I keep this? I don't think I'll ever get a thank you note from a paladin again.
Thank you for the fine dinner and celebration. Good work, Steelrose Expeditionary League, Dephron.
That goes in our archives.
Barnabas is eventually going to lose that at some poker table in hell, like a century.
It's a thank you note from a paladin. You don't have one.
Priceless.
The Rockseekers are the next to kind of get up, and despite their hangovers, excitement trumps hangover, and they are excited to leave. This is when the rest of you are kind of doing your daily preps. They go over and a couple of them, say goodbye to Sunny. One of them,
looking forward to doing business with you, Thogrim,
says Gundren.
You gotta remind me, what did Gundren do?
He's
Gundren's
the Rockseeker.
Gundren's maps led to the finding
Right, okay.
of the lost... You also saved the hell out of these three brothers along the way. But,
Repeatedly.
Yeah.
They were the princesses of the adventure. Just like, what the hell? How did you end up over here?
I am Mario.
But he was the first one you met, I think, and you rescued him against goblins or something. I forget where.
Absolutely.
Bugbears.
It's going to be quite a busy time for me the next coming months, weeks, but I'm glad as hell that you and your brothers are safe.
Well, I tell you what, while the lords haven't really, written the fine details of the deal, I'm sure that between us finding the metal, getting hardbacks to dig it out, and you crafting them into things, we've got a good relationship here.
Indeed. It's going to be an interesting little while.
Excellent!
The Rockseekers are off. With so many people leaving, it's not going to be long before just Lord Dverak knows that you've returned.
So, Sunny wants to have a quick check with the remainder of the Outriders.
Yep. Oh, and I think there's a Modra turtle here.
Yes.
Okay. There's a little menagerie.
We're gonna instruct the children to take care of the animals.
Okay.
Barnabas will spend the day crafting a forged note.
Okay.
It will be a...
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you. Nice.
20 plus...
What is the? Tell me what the note is before you roll.
Oh, it is a forged suicide note signed by Lord Dverak.
Oh, we were just making like pasta fazouli, and all of a sudden,
Hey, Marty, take all these stickies.
Barnabas,
Come out the fucking window.
I got a 70 on that.
Which room is Barnabas doing this in? Because I think Paulie
he's
is
in the little library. Hang on.
Isn't Paulie like... Oh, wait. Yeah.
Boom.
This is...
Boom. Actually, yeah, I get aid from Paulie, so that comes to 74.
Yeah, so there might be a little conversation between you and Polly. I just need to find Polly's token. I think it's on his character sheet.
Oh, the other token you mean?
I'm going to try to find a.
Yeah, I don't think we made an actual token for it yet.
Okay, let's check. Token library. If I type in Snark.
Snark might come up.
Oh yeah, I do have them.
Okay.
Let's drop that into his character sheet and drop it into. Snark, aka Polly.
Oh, Master! What are we writing?
Oh, we're melting a little dough.
I like notes. Adra Malak knows is the master of reading and writing.
Yeah, of course he is. Look, this is a little suicide note.
Oh, who's planning on dying? Hopefully not you. This would be a very short trip to the prime material for me. Of course, if you want to die, I can help.
No, we just need him to know that he could die any time, and we'll have an explanation for it.
Are you going to show him the note?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if he brings it to the authorities, what are they going to say? Don't kill yourself?
Hardly, yeah.
Oh, use that word.
He's
That word is better.
That's a good one, yeah. All right. Just
All right.
I get auto aid from Polly on linguistics.
Yeah, Polly, aka Snark, helps you write and craft the forged suicide note of Lord Dverak.
Yeah. Just can't go on with the corruption and the blah blah blah, confessing to crimes he didn't commit, like vile crimes.
I cheated on my taxes.
The things I've done with horses.
Letting the paladin down.
Do you have knowledge of local Elser Vale?
Yep,
And do you speak Dwarven?
I do.
You can get a +2 from each of those things, as you know a little bit about Dwarven culture and the Dwarven language. Also, by the number of synonyms for certain words, you know how important things are.
So
Wealth and honor being
There are many flavors.
multiple words for that. So
Throw a mythic point in there, buddy.
I threw a mythic point for the int check.
No, just add a d6.
Oh, to bust 80? Yeah, sure, to bust 80. So that's 83.
okay, mark that down in your character sheet that you have this horrible document.
We should have one for everyone we meet.
Really?
Who died?
Just everyone.
It's like he's
Just so you know, I have all of your suicide notes
It's like
with me.
suicide note, and you clearly died in a way that he couldn't have killed himself.
With all these really personal anecdotes.
Someone's riddled with like 20 arrows and they have a suicide note.
All right, so Barnabas' alignment's evil, right?
Yeah, easy.
Okay, all right, just checking.
Yeah, there's.
Okay. Okay, so you do this. Another day passes here at the inn as you guys are getting ready and you're planning out different cell patterns and who's going to go what and do what where.
Sonny wants to check with the Outriders to see if they want their half-machine friends reincarnated. He doesn't know what'll happen. If you bring me the incense, I'll cast the spell.
Megan says that's the one where they come back as other creatures.
Yes, unfortunately, I do not have magic for their partial machine forms.
Johanna's gonna be a goblin for sure, or a kobold, says Silent.
That's actually an 80. Oh, sorry. It's actually an 85 on that check. I forgot I have Masterwork Fortress.
Nice. If you had that magical desk, it'd be too higher too. Would you have to go fast
I know.
at some point? If you could just make them not rot.
Okay, gentle repose.
Given that this was a plan, we'll say that you already have gentle reposes running. We might try other things first. Oh, come on. A kobold would be funny. I don't wish to spend time with a kobold.
I don't know if they're more machine than person now. They might come back as machines, although machines aren't native here.
We should check in with our patron. We do have several clauses in our deal with him. If they are unable to, we will seek out your aid. But for now, know that we owe you a deep favor. You being the part.
Yeah. Good luck on your future adventures.
Perhaps, too, you get a scowl from Ragnum. May our blades never cross, and we look forward to the next time we drink again. Well said, Megan.
What are their so if they're being looked at through arcane sight, what are they how worthy are these folks, just in case?
Oh, okay, so you're searching to see what spellcasting powers they have? Interesting.
Yeah.
Sneaky little bastards. So
Yeah. I mean, I could have done it when they were unconscious or whatever, but
Thogrim cast a mage's private sanctum when we had arrived.
Okay, so you do see divine and I got you. Could you place it on the where you're putting it? It's a 20-foot radius or a 20-foot box. I forget.
Okay.
Do you see divine as well as arcane?
Yep. It tells you which.
Okay. Megan, Megan Swiftblade is the leader of their little group, and she's got, and it's the level of spells, right?
It is the highest level spell that they have.
She can cast 3rd level divine spells.
Okay.
30-foot cubes.
Or a ranger, paladin, something or other.
You're guessing not a paladin.
Ranger, something or other. Okay.
Ragnum Dowerstone, after spending some time with him, he is.
Caster, I thought.
Ragnum is a priest.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
He can cast
5th or 6th, something like that.
5th level divine spells.
Nice.
Silent Leaf Runner, 3rd level divine.
Okay.
And then Madrick the Mad, who is their pixie.
Has a 4th circle spell-like ability.
Yeah, I think you're picking up his spell.
His phase stuff it would be trumping. Unless if he has divine spells on top, I'd also pick up that he has divine, but I wouldn't know what the highest level is.
The highest level that he has is Fey Invisibility Supernatural, so you're not picking that up. 3rd level Arcane.
Okay. So it was 5th circle divine, 3rd circle arcane.
No, 3rd circle divine, 3rd circle divine, 3rd circle arcane.
Okay. So Sunny will give most deference to Ragnum, as he's the most potent caster.
He's also the one that survived without problem, right?
Yep. Okay. What if we will... When next our paths cross, hopefully we do not cross swords or spell, and and if, it's good to study. It's my Dowerstone. He could be a pet, but probably not. Maybe. The rest of them,
You'll be in my prayers.
Sonny will take that as a good thing. Whether or not it is depends on who he prays to.
Yep.
You realize that might have been a threat, right, Sonny? They're nice people.
Mm.
Oh, so many divine casters amongst them.
Sorry, quick thing. Mage's Private Sanctum used to be an area. Now it's 30-foot cubes per level.
Which is an area.
I remember it was an area though, like a sphere, right? Has it changed recently? Because
No, you don't have to make the spell as that big.
I'm covering as much of this place. I'm using a mythic point, so 17 cubes.
Okay, so you basically
The whole place is in a black fog.
Yeah,
you blanket the mass majority of this place with the spell.
just so you know.
I'm trying to read.
Well, light and stuff works inside the spell.
Yeah.
So
If you end up with your book in one side, like in and out, that'd be hilarious. So, my
Yeah,
hand.
I don't want to draw it everywhere.
Blackness.
Like it'll cover everything. 17.
one
cubes.
casting covers the majority of it. 2 castings covers the entire place.
That's fine. We have enough mythic points to go around.
All right, so precautions are had, and it's a little. The entranceway is a little bit confusing to those that are not familiar with spells. We're going to say that a messenger does arrive at the Half-Axe Inn. This is like 3 days in. The message is from Lord Dverak, and it's a quickly scrawled note that says, "Congratulations. Looking forward to a chat soon. Please come to the guild hall when you're ready."
Okay, we will return a message with the messenger.
Freak you! You come here.
Grateful to be of service. Drop by anytime. P.S. Don't forget our money.
How much money does he owe you? It was like 50.
100,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
It's about 11 grand each. 10 and a half.
I might have been already in the downtime.
No, that wasn't in
Because
there.
we might not have got paid, actually, depending on how.
All right, I'm gonna pay
Still
off.
might not get paid.
I'm gonna pay off Brennos. Start paying off.
Okay,
Slake.
no other conversation that day. On the 5th day of you being an overlook,
We're moving money and stuff at this point.
yeah,
too.
well, to move 1 million gold pieces requires planning. There's some people that are going.
Yeah.
pro-
We're still working. We're not just
Yeah.
idling by like, this is funny.
Yep.
No.
So let's say the people that are working are around a table, and then where is everyone else
Oh,
positioned?
Barnabus is working too.
Okay.
Snark
Snark transforms back into a parrot before anyone else.
And
We haven't walked in on him doing something highly suspicious with the
Nope.
being who's highly suspicious. Okay.
Agony is helping out with the treasure. He's very interested in getting paid. We've got the kids looking after the small
Yep.
menagerie of
Don't worry.
animals.
In the future, whenever like Joachim and Thogrim go on their own quests, they will
Yep.
each have their own little animal buddy that can.
Yep. Thogrim, your mind and ability to your ability to do numbers is probably required. Cog is also pretty smart. So the group is working. Eamon comes in and he gives a whistle, and you notice that he gives he hasn't trained for his level yet. He waves to Barnabus.
yeah, what is it?
He said something about the chickens are on the march as he's trying to sign, but he hasn't quite learned it yet.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! Yeah, all right. I we got company.
And then there's this thing called the lead elephant. I think there was a statue you guys found.
Oh yeah,
Statue,
that's with
Amadeus?
though.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Marty.
He says something weird. He says, spiked hair entourage, armed. And you know he's signing wrong.
I mean, would you please
Give me a
add-
linguistics check to figure out if you actually know what he's trying to say.
Sure.
Can anybody do that?
Do you plan on taking sign language as one of your new skills next level? linguistic sign language.
That's awesome.
6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13.
You haven't leveled yet, so you can move your skills around. But
Yeah, sure. I'm running out of things to learn.
okay.
59.
You know that the word for hair and ear is very close in sign language because it's close geographically on
Elves
someone's
or
head.
Tieflings.
He's actually saying armed spiked ear people, which might be a way of describing an elf, but they're armed and they're an entourage for the chicken. No, the Lord.
It's like speaking Chinese
Lords have
badly.
plumes and they're important looking. It's not chicken. It's Lord Dverak is coming with armed elf entourage.
Okay. Barnabus will get up. I mean, would you come to the door, please? I'd like to have some sort of presence there. And he looks at Eamon. Chicken, really?
What? That's not the word.
No, it's.
Oh. The rare smile from. He appreciates the irony of calling a lord a chicken.
Yep. Barnabus will be leaning against the bar.
A rare smile from Eamon. And let me get some of these tokens. So we've got Lord Dverak. You're going to make him come to you guys. Fine. There's Clegor. And then Dephron is with him. And then we need a elf with his entourage. Okay, are you meeting them outside, or are you?
Oh no! Someone can.
Okay.
They can knock. Eamon can open the bar, and Barnabas will be leaning against the bar with a drink and a smoke,
Okay.
going over some things.
You telling us that they're coming, or
Yeah.
okay?
All right, Agony closes a few of the books and pushes some of the things that were used to like count the thousands of gold pieces that you guys have. He throws an apron from the bar over top of some of your accounting. Polly ends up flying up into the rafters and just sort of hunkers down to have a look in. Howie comes rolling over.
Howie is just
Pointing at
he's somewhat aiming at the door, but he's not talking. I'm like, let's keep it down for now, Howie. Let's not let everyone know that you'll have personality.
Yes, master. It will be a great surprise when a cannonball hits them in the face.
Yes, don't you think so, 6-1?
Yes, master. Of course, it would be a great surprise.
Here, have a drink.
Thank you, master. I do not require sustenance.
Yeah, it's got to. Maybe you can enjoy it still, though. Yeah, try
I
that.
will endeavor to do so. Yes, master. And he starts.
Get hammered now, I command you.
Thogrim's like, this guy's pretty fun.
All right, there is a knock at the door. Eamon has to like stick his head close to the door to see what's going on because of the mage's private sanctum. He does take a step back. He says, "It's Lord Dverak."
Ask him, Lord Dverak, who? I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
There was a sneer from Eamon, and then he like looks back and like he's asking a question without saying it, just kind of with a tilt of his head, like, "Do you want me to take the bar off the door and let them in?"
No, let him in.
He takes the bar off the door and opens it up. Dephron is the first one to step in. He nods to all of you. He wipes his feet and takes a step
sorry.
off the
While all that's going on, I think we're just
Yeah.
going to find himself a place a little bit like nod as like, hey, look, there's a shadowy gnome guy.
Okay.
Just a little bit further away from the
Agony will clear a little bit of a spot and sit on the other side of Brennos with the dwarves. They move over. You move over.
All right.
Dephron comes in.
Might I introduce Lord Clego Dverak and Prince-in-Exile Idris Ioldra.
Knowledge nobility. Who is Prince?
Sure.
Idris Ioldra.
He's got a pretty good chin for an elf.
Who the hell is that?
He really does, doesn't he? Hang on. Knowledge nobility plus 30. So I will take 10. Screw it, I'll roll. Okay, but I will also spend an inspiration point. For a 62.
There is an elven district in Overlook.
Mm-hmm.
Prince Idris, or Prince-in-Exile, Idris Ioldra, is the de facto leader of the elves in Overlook. He is related to the last queen of Overlook, of Thundertree. And part of the condition of him being able to continue his noble family is that he never stepped foot back in Thundertree, as well as probably some other conditions. But he is largely seen as the true local ruler of elves in Elsyr Vale.
Is he referred to as my lord or your highness or?
Prince-in-Exile probably is not equivalent to prince unless you were an elf. Lord would be fine.
Lord is fine? Okay.
Yep. He is very wealthy and has really grown up with Elsyr Vale. He's probably several hundred years old and has 1 foot in elvendom and 1 foot in...
Dwarvendom?
No, I would say just commerce in general.
Okay.
Does he have any history of eating people and taking their form?
Is he a member of the Philomath Mystics?
Would you roll?
62?
He's stonemason.
62.
You think that while he is courtly and obviously has enough charisma to run effectively a mercantile company along with his wealth, like a more like investment.
Okay.
He is likely an arcane caster, and you do know that he does buy esoteric things, whether he's in part of a semi-secret organization or not. But as somebody who's lived in Elsyr Vale for hundreds of years and had some power, he would be a candidate for such an order.
Okay.
Like if you were to take guesses, this would be a good one.
All right. Just curious.
Okay, stepping in is not Lord Dverak, but these ostentatiously helmed, weird-looking elven guards in heavy armor that have massive metallic plumes of griffin wings coming out of their backs.
Holy shit! I even better open both doors for them. Look at that. That's fancy.
These 2 elves, knowledge local Elsyr Vale, knowledge nobility, knowledge...
Knowledge local Elsyr Vale, I think. No, a local Elsyr Vale, I'll take 10, get 58.
Okay, the Prince-in-Exile is rich enough to personally fund the continuation of an order of knights that once flew around the skies of Thundertree in the Elsyr Vale called the Griffin Knights of Thundertree.
Do they actually still ride griffins?
Yes, he's wealthy enough to own a stable of griffins. Maybe a unit, not many.
So if you get 30s in these things, are you getting sort of the basic information?
Yep, for this one, yes.
So he's getting those are Griffin Riders. That's some prince of elves.
Yeah, their armor is likely mithril, and these guys do have magical lances that they're using, even though they're on foot. They've got spurs for griffins, and they basically look like functioning Griffin Riders.
They're kitted out.
Yep, they're rather large and strong for elves. Eamon just sort of looks at them, and he's giving them a look like, don't try anything. They seem to be staring past them, although they did glance around to see if there were any immediate dangers. Dephron says, This is Eamon Woe, guardian of Barnabus. Eamon just nods to them. He steps back, allowing them some space. They do flank the entryway, but they don't come in much further. Dephron gives